Her name is Hokua, Star of Gladness. Her ancestors knew the long and hidden seaways between Hawaii and Tahiti of the golden haze, guided by the strong hands and the far-seen eyes of men like Kamahualele, the navigator, men who feel the sea and know its secrets. When Hokua begins a voyage to which she is about to be consecrated, she will be guided by one who still reads the stars, the long waves, and the winds, paddled by strong men whose ancestors wielded the adze to shape these canoes, and she will travel to Tahiti and back to Hawaii, over which island the guiding star, whose name she bears, stands at its zenith. In ancient days, her hull would have been formed from a single log, or by lashing carved planks edge to edge. The 60-foot hull of the Hokua was made in a modern fashion, but it bears a semi-V shape and has a surface and a weight identical to the ancient voyaging canoes of eastern Polynesia of 800 years ago. It is known how the long canoes were constructed, but little is known of how they responded to the wind and the sea on long voyages across the Pacific. Great care is being taken to duplicate the pandana sails and the sennit lashings by which the parts were assembled in the final outfitting of the great canoe. These are all factors that could have an effect on the performance of the Hokua. For one of the purposes of this voyage, sponsored by the unique nonprofit organization known as the Polynesian Voyaging Society, is to offer proof that the early Polynesian, without charts or instruments, and using only his highly developed navigational skill and the double-hulled canoe of his people, found and colonized the Hawaiian Islands, establishing a two-way travel between Hawaii and his Tahitian home far to the southeast. The lines used in the actual voyage, therefore, will be of coconut fiber, especially braided for the Hokua by the old men of Nanumea on the western edge of Polynesia, and of the Tuamotu archipelago, because they have retained these half-forgotten skills, and they have the time necessary to fabricate the lashings. For the same reasons, the final sprit sails have been woven of pandanus matting by the women of Kapinga Marangi Atoll and of the Gilbert Islands in Micronesia, who have revived the ancient craft upon our request. But now it is the eve of the day of the launching, Friday, March 7, 1975, and the huge pig is being prepared for the next day's ritual meal. A prayer is chanted for a successful launch. With the rising of the sun the following day, the ceremonies begin. A decision has been made that the ceremonies will be conducted according to the traditions of our kupunas. Such ceremonies traditionally invoke the favor of the god Ku, who in one form was god of canoe makers, and of Tangaroa, Polynesian god of the sea. These, then, are the ancient rites of the early island mariners, and attention will be paid to every detail. The ritual surrounding the launching of the Hokua is an appeal for acceptance of the voyaging canoe as a living member of the community, having its own place within an orderly universe, and the lifting of the kapus. Hokua is prepared for the ceremonies. She is decorated with long garlands of maile, of ie, and with tea. The wooden image, or ki'i, symbolizes the navigator, his eye fixed to his guiding star, represented by the golden pearl shell. Another purpose behind the proposed voyage and the ritual ceremonies is to resurrect and revitalize the culture and the traditions of the great Polynesian mariners. Before the steam and the flying boats, this was the way the Polynesians prepared to cross the wide and often turbulent expanses of the Pacific. Challenged by sudden squalls, by skies without stars, by submerged reefs that are invisible until you are upon them, the early Polynesians sought the protection of those forces that maintain the harmony of the universe. It is time now for the crew to drink the ava, the favorite beverage of the Hawaiian gods, customarily made by mixing the pounded roots of the peppery ava plant with water. The slightly narcotic liquid is served according to strict protocol of lineage and office. One of the chants of the launching ceremonies this day will extol the virtues of ava from Tahiti, ava from Upolu, ava from Vauvau, and command, bottle up the frothy ava, the well-strained ava. Praise be to God. With the morning sun, the conch shell summons the spectators to Kualoa. Kualoa, at the north end of Kaneohe Bay on Oahu, is a traditionally sacred place. From this windward beach, Hokua will enter the Pacific waters for the first time. The ritual Pikai is chanted by Kaupena Wong, a ceremony customarily performed by a kahuna.
E kia I, e alaka I, e ho'ona au au, e ho'olana kila, a pai tā wa'a I ke kula. E kia I, e alaka I, e ho'ona au au, e ho'olana kila. A pai tā wa'a I ke kula me kalana kila. E kia I, e alaka I, e ho'ona au au, e ho'olana kila. A pai tā wa'a I ke kula, me kalana kila. E kia I, e alaka I, e ho'ona au au, e ho'olana kila. A pai tā wa'a I ke kula me kalana kila.
He sprinkles the canoe and the paddlers with seawater as he intones a prayer in which he asks protection for the great canoe until it safely reaches its destination.
E kia I, e alaka I, e ho'ona au au, e ho'olana kila. A pai tā wa'a I ke kula me kalana kila.
After this opening prayer, a portion of the seawater is consumed from the coconut shell, and the remainder returned to the mothering sea.
o ika imo. Ho mau.
Now the emu pit is open, and the offering of food is prepared. Pieces of the pig's snout, the tail, 4 feet, some meat, a red kumu, a banana, and all are placed upon a coconut leaf platter covered with banana and ava leaves. The early voyaging canoes of Polynesia customarily carried supplies of taro paste and dehydrated breadfruit, pandanus flour and dried fish, coconuts and gourds of drinking water. The diet of these early mariners was supplemented by freshly caught fish as they voyaged. The men who will sail Hokua to Tahiti and back will attempt to approximate this early diet as much as possible. For there is the question of how well these early Polynesians could bear the rigors of oceanic voyaging on the limited nutritional diet imposed upon them by the long journeys and limited supplies. The paddlers of Hokua are now served, and on the pola, Kaopena faces Herb Connie, Ben Finney, and Kenneth Emery of the Polynesian Voyaging Society. This is the canoe which has been built, says Connie. Its name is Hokua.
E mokuha li'i kupai ke e leʻa e atapua e uku e makana e alana e mohaia o kou ua paakawa a hoku lea he kaulua a e ho'olana i aku ana i ke kai o kona aina ia e huli ai talo a me ka waiwai na ponoloa o kou e makaala i nā pūkoa, nā puupo haku o kahilau papa, nā nalu, nā leo ka moana. O holo no o kou i tā waa, makahi ho honu o ke kai, I hele ai tā waa nalu kai.
Invoking the forces that guard the sea, Kaopena asked protection for the great canoe against the coral beds and stones of the reef, the waves and billows of the ocean, until the canoe becomes worn, moss-grown, and aged, and he lifts for the first time the ritual kapu on Hokua. The crew eats in silence, for this is a ritual meal, and not at all like the bright and happy luau that will follow the launching. They drink coconut water. After the crew is eaten, the remnants are gathered into a coconut leaf basket, weighted with rocks and tied with a cord. Kaupena places the food in the tea shelter.
E ho makau.
The time has come for the launching. E ho'oma kau kau is the call. Make ready to launch the canoe. All male spectators are invited to help pull the ropes for the launching, and the cry is, "E alulike, let us all work together." The hauling chant begins.
E alolike! Ki-au-au! Ki-au-au! Hoki-au-au! Hoki-au-au!
Hokua has rushed to the arms of Tangaroa. The great voyaging canoe has come into her own, and the waters of Kaneohe have received her quickly and with love.
No, they're going to bring it off for us. Hokua o tālani, o tahunua kuhalani, o moana kuhalani. Hokua o tālani, o kahonua, Hokua o tahonua, Hokua o tamauna, Hokua o tamoana, Hokua. Alapi maluna then oli.
Now the canoe is boarded, and the signal given for the paddlers to take Hokua out from the shore.
Hokua o tālani, Hokua o tahonua, Hokua o tamauna, Hokua o tamoana, Hokua o tāu, Hokua o ta po. Malua lani ke kua, malua hopu ke kua, aia no ia ko ilai ke kua. Nanai kua, nanai hainu, nanai hele, nanai ae, nanai ho'onoa noa. Noa ke kua o kawaa, mama ua noa.
The gods of heaven, of the earth, and the mountains, the oceans, the night and day, are called to witness the passage of the voyaging canoe. The ava is praised and the kapu lifted. Here at Kualoa, Ahupua'a, it is believed that the ancient gods made their home. Here Kamehameha paid respect as his war canoes sailed by. Here the Amakua shark once guarded the waters, and Hi'iaka punished the great lizard. Now once again this sacred place sees a great voyaging canoe gliding through its waters. The canoe is turned. It is time now for the offering. The crew is reminded that they must not look back once a food offering is given to the sea. The offering is made. The waters receive the fruits of the land from the hands of her children, and a homing chant begins. In a sense, it is a prophecy for the long canoe. The stars appear, the daylight arrives, land ashore, a mama, the kapu is freed. Ashore once again on Kualoa, Ahupua'a, Kaupena surrenders the canoe to Kahu Kaupu for a Christian blessing. Here is Hokua, built for the oceans and the seas, and consecrated according to the traditions of our kupunas. Receive her with aloha and peace.
Amen.
A blessing is asked for the crew and for all who participated in her creation and consecration, that the Holy Spirit may defend, protect, preserve, and guide them through the aloha of God. Once again the conch shell sounds, but now it is a summons to luau, a celebration. From here at Kualoa, a former training ground for young Hawaiian chieftains, where sails were lowered as the canoes passed in respect to the holy place, Hokua prepares to sail out.
Aia I ta hokulea, tanui o ta waa, o hele a maihi, na pea I kumakani. Aia I ta hokulea, tanui o ta waa, o hele a maihi, na pea I kumakani. Kaua he neri, kei hu o ta hokulea, kei hoa he ole I Pilivia, ka beauty o ka mea nui, e ke kuana I ke kai, ai te I te ilikai. Na ole I Pilivia, ka beauty o ka mea nui, e kuana I ke kai, ai te ilikai. Ai nā ka puana ea, ka taihu o te maa. Ai a hoku lea, ua au I ke kai. Ai nā ka puana, ka taihu o te maa. Ai a hoku lea, ua au I ke kai.
A mama, ua noa. A pehea ka wā? O noa nei?
Ai, mai kai hoa, ka waa hoku lea.
She arrives at Maui, a living artifact whose paddlers will be honored in other ceremonies on other islands, and additional sailors recruited for the long voyage. But mostly she sails now, this star of gladness, to be seen and honored throughout the island chain, seeking to reaffirm the dignity, the incredible skills, the pride of the Polynesian people in what they were, in what they are yet to be. People of the ocean, striders of the sea.